Hey, we're back for part 3, and we're going to make a leather sheath here, a neck sheath. And all we're going to do, we got a piece of construction paper, poster board, whatever here. And not sure how deep I want it to set down in the sheath yet. We're just going to draw a general outline. And we got to leave. This is going to be absolute basic. Anyone can do this. So but we got to have room for lacing. So I'm actually going to come around here about a 3/8 or so. I want to make it a little oversized because I can always cut it down some when I'm kind of getting to my final dimensions. And it's not going to be a super tight fitting sheath anyways. It's going to hang around your neck. It'll dangle from there, and gravity will help hold it in. And soft tan leathers don't have a whole lot of holdability to them anyways. And that's what they would have been using, deer tanned, brain tanned leathers and stuff like that, all very soft. They could use some rawhide, but all right, so I can probably shrink it down a little bit more than that, but so we want to look and see what's going to be sticking out. So that would be sticking out like that right there. So it's not horrible. Might bring these sides in. Actually, yeah, let's do this. We're just trying to do a down and dirty pattern here. But let's get it evened up. Take some of that off. Let's get it even all the way. All right, and there is our knife sheath pattern right there, and it would set in the sheath just like that. Okay, so we have our pattern. Pretty simple, anyone can do that. And we better leave that up there so that we got some white background. I've decided on using this leather right here, which is a shrunken buffalo leather, and we might get 2 pieces out of it, I hope. If not, I got more of it, but take that down there as far as I can get it. We're going to mark it with a silver marking pen because I know that's what the natives used. And we need one more. And we're going to cut this with scissors. These are heavy duty leather shears, so because this is probably 4 to 5 ounce leather, so it's not super thin. It's not super thick, but it's not super thin either. Might be 3/4 ounce. I'm not sure. I'd have to put a leather gauge on it to tell for sure. I like this leather because it looks the part, you know what I mean? Like you can answer me, right? Asking you questions like you can answer me. All right, so I am losing my mind. gonna lie, it's kind of a, I would say it's awkward sitting there talking to myself all the time, but to tell you the truth, I do it anyways. Half the time. So it's just like any other day, just talking to myself. So we got our 2 pieces. And our knife is going to fit in there just like that. And let's see what we can do here. I'm probably going to I'm not sure you can see this or not, but I'm gonna roughen up this edge here. Let me see if I can find something to do that with. I would normally do it on the edge of my bench, but I just don't want that perfect at the top. So I'm going to ugly it up. Building stuff in the leather shop, I wouldn't want to do that, but in a project like this, a lot of times I'll find a piece that's tore like this right here and make that my top edge, and I might even still do that. Let's see here, because I want that full edge. Let's find something. All right. Yeah, I'm going to use this right here. We'll cut a chunk out of this. But see, that's not a cut edge there, so I am going to use that. Just like that. So that front edge that you're going to see is going to have that cut in it, and that's fat from the tannery that way, and it's hard to duplicate. I can duplicate it over there, but I can't do it over here. So let me cut this real quick. Remove this out of the way before we break it. Trying to get this in the camera, but without much luck. I should have took some time to get a better camera setup spot, but all right. Okay. So there's our front and there's our back. That's going to set like that, and it just gives it this, you can see that, this little irregular thing there, and it's kind of rough. There's some pieces of leather sticking up, and probably doesn't make that big a difference, but just doesn't make it look so, you know, don't look like it's been cut with a razor knife, you know, which is what we're trying to avoid, it looking that way. So yeah. Okay, next step. So I read that early man used quick drying cement. So that's what we're going to use to keep it authentic. You can get a little tube of weldwood, works good for gluing leather. You can get a little bottle of that, or any kind of contact cement is going to work just fine. And when this dries, it's going to create a permanent bond between these two pieces of leather, and you'll destroy this thing trying to get it apart if you tried to take it apart, because it is that good of a bond. And usually a lot of times you have to use 2 coats. Let the first coat dry, and when you put this on, you want to let it tack up. And once it's tacked up, then you stick them together. And we're probably only going to use 1 coat. You think that glue pot's got some miles on it? There's several of those around the shop like that. Okay, we're going to let this tack up, and then I'll come right back. Okay, we're back, and we're going to stick this together. Alright, nothing to this. Is just gluing 2 pieces of leather together. And this is a smooth-faced hammer. I use in the shop. You can just smash it down with your hand if that's what you want to do, but that makes a pretty incredibly strong bond there. And what I'm going to do here, I'm going to trim these. Actually, I'm not going to do it like that. I'm going to do it like this. I'm not sure where I got my... Here it is, right here. I have my razor knife, which is incredibly dull at the moment, so... I should have replaced that blade before I done this. I'm just going to spin around here, and all that's going to do is just even up these edges. And I don't even care if this is a little wonky or any of the rest of that. We're not trying to make perfection here. This isn't something that would normally be made in a shop in this manner, but I don't want it to look like it just rolled out of a custom leather shop. So there we got it cut. And then I got one other thing that I do. So unless you're a leather worker watching this, you're probably not going to have one of these tools. Which, this tool goes in here like this. The glue's not set yet, but all I'm trying to do is just knock that. Normally I'd let this dry some, but that's not working for me. Just trying to take that little edge off is all I'm trying to accomplish, so it doesn't look quite so square. Just trying to, it actually looks alright being pushed up like that, because I'm okay with that. Now part of this edge is going to cover with some lace that we're going to put on here. And you can do this lace with some rawhide or however you want to do it. I'm not going to do that for this thing, but be better if that glue dried, but we ain't got time for all that. Enough time for all that nonsense. So now you can take I'm going to put a little bit of dye on this outer edge here, and you can use on this outer edge, and you can use anything you want to use. You could use a Sharpie, but so I'm gonna get a little dye real quick. And as I said, you're not going to have this at home most likely unless you're a leather worker. And I just want that edge dark underneath where that lacing wraps around. And this paper towel. Making a mess out of everything because I'm trying to just do this. And all right, we're just going to guesstimate this. I'm going to come in, let's see if I can show you. I'm going to come in about that far. And this is a slotted punch. You could use a sharpened screwdriver or a piece of welding rod or whatever you want to use. You can punch them with a knife, but we're going to use this. And that's punching through the leather like that. And so we have slits to run our lace in. We're just going to go both sides. Again, nothing has to be perfect. Actually, the least perfect, the less perfect it is, probably the better. For this particular project, anyhow. Okay, and we got a single punch right here, which we'll put right there. Now our cord is going to attach back here with two holes that the lace is going to run through. I'll be right back. Okay, so the lace we're going to use for this is a oil tan lace, and it's a 5/32 lace, and this is it right here. And we're basically going to do a whip stitch sort of deal. Hopefully I can do it with the camera in the position it's in, and we'll probably just do we'll do a few, show you putting a few of them through there. Sorry, I know I'm getting out of whack here and off camera. It really is awkward. And this is a lace needle, and you can see it. I don't know if you can see it or not, but let's see. Focus. It's got two little prongs on there. So this thing says our battery is going to die, of course. Why wouldn't it? I've been filming stuff quite a bit, so, and uploading videos at the same time. Okay, so we got our needle in there, and that lace needle, you can get them, I believe you can get those from Hobby Lobby. Probably has them. But this lace has got two sides. It's got a rough side and a smooth side. And we're going to try to put as much of the rough side. This is the front of our sheath here. So alrighty then. Getting that through there. Pull this through. And this tail is just going to hang down like this. And what's going to happen is we're just going to wrap this around. And it's going to come, wrap this around, and it's going to come over this tail. And then we're going to come back up through the bottom side. With the rough part of the stitch so that it will face outward. I got another tool over there on the bench I usually use for wobbling those holes out some. So the rough part's out. That tail's got to be through that, and the stitch going over it is doggone, I keep hitting the camera, sorry about that. And this is gonna wrap around like this here, and we're just going to continue this process of just going around and around and around. It's called a whip stitch. And all it does is whip around and around and around in the back side and back through the front. Make sure the rough side's out. I mean, you could do the smooth side if you wanted, but I like the rough side. And this is going to just keep whipping around there, and it's going to cover that edge just like that. And we'll run a couple more through, and then I'm not going to make you set through this. Plus, I'm in such an awkward position. It would take me a month of Sundays to get this laced, where normally it would take about, I don't know, 15 minutes or so. So I'm going to give you the idea of how to do it. And you could look up whip stitch on the internet in case you forgot, but I don't know how you could possibly forget this. And then back around and through again. And that's just going to continue all the way around. And I got about, I don't know exactly, it's been a while since I've done a whip stitch, so and the thickness of the material is going to vary, but I did 3.5 times the length, and that should be more than enough to whip around there. I'm used to doing double loop lacing stitches. I don't do a lot of whip stitch, but it seems pretty fitting on this. It looks good when it's done, and I'll show you that. So I'm not gonna make you sit through all this. I'll go over to the bench where I'm comfortable and do this, and then we'll come back and I'll show you the last little part of it, and then we'll punch the holes for the net cord, and it's gonna be done. I'll be right back. Okay, we got the camera moved where it should have been all along. I am much more comfortable, and it's in frame, and we just went through our last hole here, And I'm just going to show you real quick how to end it, because it's the same loop all the way around. And the way I end it is I just run a tool. You can use anything. You can use a screwdriver or what have you. This is the back side of the sheath, so I want this little tail to kind of hide behind it. And you just run that back through your stitches like that and pull it through. Cut it off, and I'd mentioned before 3.5 times on this, and that's what was left after I measured 3.5 times, or 3.5. I think I did 4. I did 4 times the distance around this, and that's what was left. And you wouldn't want any less than that, because smash it down there a little bit like that, and let's see here. I'm gonna slide in there like that, and we're gonna punch 2 holes in here for the cord. Now on the cord, let's see here. I'm gonna estimate it here. I'm not sure how long this is. I grabbed the wrong one. Okay, let me try this again. So on the lacing part, we used a 5/32 lace, and on the neck piece, I'm going to use 1/4 inch. It's the same lace, but in 1/4 inch, and I'll show you the difference between them. There's a difference. So this is going to be a little more comfortable on your neck, carrying this around. And we're just going to cut a couple things like that. And let's see here. I don't have a hole punch big enough on that, so we're going to pull that out. Never good sitting. Grab my board. I got a hole punch here. This is a 7/32. We're going to use it. I'm just going to punch 2 holes in the back. Not in the front side of the sheath, but back. Just like that. Punch another one right here. You could do a slot. You could just cut that slot with a knife if that's what you wanted to do. Doesn't make any difference. And when this cord runs through here, it's not going to make those aren't going to look so round. We're just going to come around like this, and when I tie this, I'm going to cross these over like this. Let's see. Cross them over, wrap this around it, back up, and then back through again. And then tighten it down. Just like that. I'm going to go around, so you cross it over, come back around the back sides, so flip around both of them, and then back through this hole here and tighten it down. And what that does is it creates a slip knot so that you can adjust it to however you want it, whatever length. So you can shorten it up, lengthen it, however. And that's going to be our neck knife right there. It's a cutting board. Hopefully I was in frame for this leather part, and pretty sure I was on the making the for the afting part. Maybe not on the final afting part, but the cutting part and all that, I'm sure I was. But that's our little neck knife. And with our little Novaculite blade. And I just go in there like that, and that's it. Right there. And I think it looks pretty good, you know. And it's usable. So, I mean, I'd take that in deer woods right now. I guess if I was skinning out a buck deer, I'd rather have a spall I could knock flakes off of. But cutting cordage and things like that, just having around, yeah, pretty nice. You're not going to lose that. It's hanging around your neck, and you know. But that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed it and got something out of it anyways. I'll try and do a better job next time on the whole thing, and try and get this camera in a better position. I wasn't wanting to change it because I had it all adjusted to where I needed it for flint knapping, and but I got to change it anyways because I'm shooting leather videos, and I got some other upcoming videos coming that are not related to any of this, but they're going to be pretty cool, and I think you guys will probably like them. I'm looking forward to doing that because it's going to be fun. And hopefully it works. So stay tuned to that. That's going to happen this summer. I actually hope that it happens before my back surgery, because I like to incorporate the horses into the deal. But we'll see. I've only got a few weeks to make that happen, so hopefully we can do that. So there's your neck knife. Y'all have a great day, and remember, keep napping.